talk about your installs and your installers, because I think install position, people get left out of that role, and it's a very important role, especially within a company. Can you talk about a little bit about your installs and what you guys do and what separates you from everybody else?
Yeah, I love that question. And I've seen some of your guys' install pics, and I think you guys do a killer job.
Thank
I
you.
love the lighting that you guys do on the installs too.
Thank you.
That's solid. And I'm similar to you in that aspect. That's one of the first things I wanted to change about this area and our industry was the quality. So I created a 180 point installation checklist for my installers, which they probably hated in the beginning, but I had to prove to them why each point was really important because at different companies, they do things different ways. And I wanted to show why we differentiated ourselves. So I'll just give you an example on ductwork because we do a lot of ductwork here. And in Florida, it's typically mostly flex duct, no metal. So one thing that we do that's completely different is typically people seal their ductwork with mastic on each of their connections or just zip ties, 2 duct ties or tape. Florida attics are super humid and there's a lot of moisture there. So the tape ends up just peeling off and the moisture from the attic a lot of the times with the mastic because it doesn't insulate and they don't butt that duct all the way up to that boot or to that junction box, you have a gap. And now that mastic's not going to insulate. So it's just going to sweat if it's got a really cold connection there from the cold air. So a lot of the times I look at ductwork and the connections are just nasty. They're full of bacteria growth and they're dripping water all over the place. So I said there's got to be a better way. So we tested a bunch of different methods to seal ductwork and we use an insulating foam that gives off no VOCs. It insulates it to a R9 on every single duct connection. We even insulate the boots to the drywall so that it's insulated there as well. And we do that with every single duct installation, no matter what. So right off the bat, no one here does that. Every single one of our duct connections, is insulated and sealed. So that's just one thing that we do different. As far as HVAC goes, and here's the thing, if your HVAC system's not going to work right if your ductwork's not right. It doesn't matter if you have the cleanest install in the world and you're putting in an inverter 20 SEER system. If your duct system's undersized, it's not going to work right. So I think we over-focus on the equipment. I would rather have a single stage, 14 SEER, even straight cool system with a properly sized duct system and properly installed duct system than a 20 SEER inverter with an undersized duct system or not one that's properly designed. So we fully design our duct systems in-house.